Hi, I'm Eddie Obeng, and this is how to do stuff in a world which is changing really fast. Daily, I bring you an idea, a tip, a tool. So today, I want to talk a little bit about how to understand the flows of money instead of doing the complicated calculations like discounted cash flow. In a world where the cost of silver, there's two prices. One is the price if you get hold of silver. The other is a paper price. We know that the sums and the money and the accountancy stuff, it just doesn't fit with our complex world anymore. It's much more messy than that. So let's focus on the real stuff, and I'm going to show you how to track that. Come on to Cube, and I'll try and guide you through it. So welcome to Cube, where the sun is always shining. This is Cube orientation. If you've been on Cube, you'll know this is the first place you come to. It's a fascinating environment, which is based on a drawing which was made by Steve Renshaw. And in Steve Renshaw's lovely drawing, he lays out how the world could be with cubes. So this is the environment we're in. And we're going to go and work in one of the collaboration environments over here. Isn't it great just flying around the world? Okay, so let's make a start. The place I want to start with the BeneFlowLine is looking at what happens in terms of money. So one of the headaches which we have is we've all grown up with a very simple assumption around money, which is that you can do things like add value and stuff like that. Of course, none of that's true. The reality, of course, is that if you have a situation and you're trying to make something, every action which you do costs you money. So cost is in that direction, and benefit or profit or whatever it is in this direction. So let's say, for example, you're going to go and see a client to sell them a course, or you're making a product. You start, it costs you money. Then having cost you money, you have to then write the email. That costs you money. All the activities cost you money until, if you're really lucky, the client gives you a return by giving you a ladder to climb out of the big hole which you've just dug yourself into, and the net result of that is your bag of gold. So sometimes it's easier to think about reality, because the theory which they taught us at college and stuff was every single activity adds value until you get to another value. Then you discover nobody's interested because the world has changed. Then you have to do depreciation and discounted cash flow and all these complicated things. In a fast changing world where you can not keep up your learning with your ability to change, sometimes it's easier to work with really simple ideas. The other idea in here also is something from what I call the money-making machine. So what's the money-making machine? So I wrote an entire book on the money-making machine. And the book really was to me trying to, I just want to delete what I was going to share with you. The book was really just me trying to explain a little bit about how money is actually made if you're looking at actions. So if we go back here and think about the actions which you are taking, some of these actions have a better potential to encourage customers to give you a bit of a ladder. Okay, so the money-making machine basically says, watch out for things which will bring money in fastest. And fastest is important because time is important, and time is important because we're in a new world of change. Okay. Watch out for things which will let your money flow out quickest. Then work out how much money you have to stack up just to get stuff done. Then worry about all the things which you must do to function. And then on top of that, make sure that your vision, your goals, your human spirits, learning, fun, override everything as a trump card so that life can be worthwhile. So that's the money-making machine. I'll talk more about it in another session. But to understand the BeneFlow pet, what you do is you start thinking about the amounts of money. Now, I've got an idea called time beats. What's a time beat? I'll take us back and I'll draw it, and then you'll understand. A time beat is very simple as a concept. So the question is, imagine I said, what are we going to be doing 10 seconds from now? We're going to be here, maybe, okay? So my ability to forecast into the future as a probability is probably close to 100%. But as I try and look further into the future, it drops off. Now, in an old world, it drops off slowly, and in a new world, it drops off really fast, okay? Why is that a challenge? Because if this is you standing up here, your ability to see into the future is much diminished if the pace of change is fast. So the question I ask is, how far into the future can you see with confidence? And I call that a time beat. Okay, why? It's because it's the forecast horizon. It's the horizon you can see into confidently. So let's say, for example, you're going to run a project and you say, I can see confidently into the future, oh, I don't know, 6 weeks. Okay, so your time beats are going to be 6 weeks. So effectively what you have is each one of these is what you think will happen in 6 weeks. Okay, so 6 weeks. Let's put 6 weeks. I'll just put the word 6. That's okay. Pretend it's weeks. Okay. So then you say, okay, the actions I'm going to take, what will they do? Will they bring in money? Yeah, the first thing I'm going to do actually is I'm going to send an email off and they'll pay me £100. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to have to do design. It's going to cost 200 quid. So 200 quid from my 100 quid. Let's go down, 200 quid. Oh my goodness, we're here. And then after that, I've got to build a unit. Oh, I've got to do a further 150 quid. Oh my goodness, this is terrible. But don't worry, when I finish that, somebody's going to give me 250 quid to come back up. Oh, that's not too bad. So, okay. And then after they've signed off the contract, they'll give me a further 100 quid. So what you're doing is you're watching the flow of the money rather than worrying about all the maths and complexity by using those 5 questions I asked and understanding that activity costs you money and you never make anything until customers give it back. So that's a BeneFlowLine. It's a different way of thinking about it. It's very simple. It's very visual. You can use it to explain to non-financial people what's going on. And use it for focus. So let's go and put that into practice. The quick guide, as always, cube.cc/pets. Quick guide will be BeneFlowLine. Just put the name after that. And subscribe to the newsletter. And I will see you again. Thanks. Bye.